HarperCollins presents K-9 Justice by Nichole Severn, read by Jennifer Jill Araya.
Chapter 1. The cartel had come for one of their own. Ivy Bardot tried not to let the heat get to her, but there was no fighting it. The body had been left in the middle of the desert. Just like the others. A message for her. Dark hair splayed out from around a thin face. Wide eyes that had seen so much within the walls of Socorro security stared into the sky without any life behind them. The elements had done their job, stripping moisture from the victim's ochre skin and leaving nothing but a thick rawhide behind. Victim. That word wasn't supposed to fit. It wasn't supposed to touch anyone on her team. She'd tried to make sure of that since founding Socorro. Every operative was trained to take care of themselves, no matter the circumstance. Search and rescue, emergency protocols, food and supplies in every vehicle, combat training. It didn't matter the face staring back at her had seen more violence and blood out of the field rather than in. Ivy was responsible for all of them. What had Dr. Peel done wrong?
That her?
Chief of Police Baker Halsey let his shadow cast across the cracked desert floor. Alpine Valley's protector had done his job. He'd taken Ivy's suspicion and run with it. Right out here into the middle of nowhere. Only problem was, this wasn't the first time she'd been here. In this exact spot. Staring at another victim who'd been stripped bare and left to rot. Not just one, 3 before now. Deja vu grabbed hold and refused to let up, dragging her back 3 years when she'd still been working for the FBI. Yeah, that's her. Ivy tried to swallow around the mass in her throat, but there wasn't going to be any relief here. Sweat gathered beneath her blazer and her mouth dried. Do we know anything about where she's been the past 3 days? Right on time. The killer she'd known had taken and held his hostages for 3 days before dumping them in strategic locations in the middle of the New Mexican desert. She and her partner had never been able to narrow down the location of their final moments. Though, looking back, she'd known this day was coming. That she would pay for letting a killer get away. She just hadn't expected it to happen so soon. Or to one of her own.
Nothing yet. The medical examiner is stuck in Albuquerque. Won't be able to retrieve the body for a couple more hours,
Halsey said. She deserved better. A pressure she'd become familiar with over the course of the past 2 years bubbled behind her sternum. Purpose replaced the cold leaking of grief in her gut, and the distractions bled to the back of her mind. Ivy cataloged everything she could about the scene. No tire tracks. At least, none that they would be able to match to a specific make and model. The man who'd done this was careful. Calculating. He'd gotten the best of her once upon a time, but she'd changed. She could be just as calculating when she had to be. Grab some gloves. We need to turn her over. Halsey seemed uneasy at the idea. There were rules in a crime scene. No one touched the body until the coroner or the medical examiner had a chance to do an external exam and document and photograph the victim. But they didn't have 2 hours to wait for the right authorities to get here. The relentless heat could be destroying evidence as they spoke.
Like I said, the ME won't be here for a couple hours.
I know that. I'm asking you to break protocol. Ivy hated the manipulation lacing her voice, but there were times when it was all she could do to keep the bad guys from winning. I need to see her back. Halsey considered her a moment. He'd been involved with one of Ivy's operatives enough to get a read on her himself. That was one of the things she liked about the chief of police. Always asking questions. Never satisfied.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?